All right, we're back on another Sunday with the political spectrum on our Black Media. What's going on in Thompson world?
Oh, everything is going good here, especially in Georgia. Happy that Atlanta, Georgia was able to host the first presidential debate of 2024. So, since we are a battleground state, definitely going to get a lot of media attention and unfortunately, a lot of ads.
Yeah, a lot of ads and asses. But before we
Right.
go live, I want to start with some bad news, but we still need your support. One of my nephews, at least he's a nephew of my ex, but it's still a nephew nevertheless. Was shot a couple of days ago. Survived. He's at Children's Hospital in Atlanta. I think he was 15 years old at best. But I'm putting this GoFundMe. His name is Jacob Taylor. The funding is hosted by Gracie Taylor. We're trying to raise $5,000, Dante, to get him through these surgeries. We want to double that to 10,000. So if you all see this, look on GoFundMe. That's the link. His name is Jacob Taylor, and the grandma Gracie Taylor is hosting this. So we got to get these guns out the hands of these kids. I tell you, it's a mess. But we want to pray his recovery, and let's help us raise that recovery. Yeah, yes. For our first 10, I think Julius Hall was scared of you. He talking about he running late.
I doubt he's scared of me. He probably has a lot that he wants to get off his heart, more than what Biden did.
Right. So we're gonna get on that in a minute. But for our first 10, before we go to our initial commercial break, let's talk about these new laws proposed signed into law. As of tomorrow, there are new laws proposed and put on the books by Governor Kemp. Have you had a chance to look at that list?
I think I read it earlier this month, but not recently.
Well, one of the things that he's giving raises to first responders, law enforcement, child welfare workers. In fact, $36.1 billion of the 25 budget gives an annual raise of $3,000 to law enforcement and child welfare workers. State employees making less than $70,000 a year are getting a 4% raise, and K-12 certified teachers, again, this is for certified teachers, and K-12 will get a $2,500 raise. So not too bad. One that's really interesting to me, SB 189, voters can now be removed from the rolls if evidence exists that they died, voted, or registered to vote in another jurisdiction, or have a tax exemption that shows they have a primary residence somewhere else, among other provisions. The law also requires homeless individuals to use their respective county's voter registration office as their address instead of whatever possible temporary address they may be using. I think that's quite stupid. This attack on homeless is just interesting to me. House Bill 1207, which I think is horrible, allows for fewer voting machines based on population estimates. That's crazy. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? As to me,
that's the only one that I think I probably have an issue with. The bill before, I really don't have a problem. I mean, homeless people, what other address would they use? So it's not really an attack. I don't see it as an attack on them. Now, this second bill that you're talking about right now, that makes no sense to me at all.
Yeah, that's nuts. If you want to be a drag racer, not a drag queen, but a drag racer, State Bill 10. Repeat offenders will face a felony charge, thousands of dollars of fines, and could be 10 years in prison. So if you want to get out there and screech your tires, you're gonna screech a halt to you.
I think that's a good bill, but 10 years. I mean, seriously, come on.
Well, I mean,
I want to know what's the numbers that got them to 10 years just for somebody speed racing. Like, are we looking at the amount of accident deaths that could have caused from it, people that have gotten injured? Like, how do we get to 10 years? I mean, when you kill somebody, you almost get, I think, around about 10 years too. So what are we doing here?
I'm like, whoa, this is a bit much. I like this one. State Bill 465 increases penalties for drug dealers found to be indirectly responsible for fatal fentanyl overdoses. They will now face felony aggravated involuntary manslaughter charges and the possibility of life in prison. So I think that's a good one. Let's see. State Bill 395 allows schools to provide opioid antagonists for drug overdose prevention. And let's see. So yeah, I think one of the things I will say in this bill, he increased safety. I will give him that. I am a fan of the Governor Kemp, by the way. He increased safety, and he added some funding to the pot for individuals who are front facing with our public, like our teachers and our law enforcement. So I think overall, there are a few I had an issue with, but overall, I give him a B plus on this.
I mean, you can't go wrong with Governor Kemp. I mean, yes, he is a Republican and conservative, but I will say that he governs accordingly as a moderate. He tries to get everyone happy, and he's done a very good job. I think putting a lot of black judges on the benches, which that doesn't get a lot of highlight, but that's something that he should also get credit for as well. I mean, through it all, I think Governor Kemp is a very good governor. I wish he would have ran for president this cycle, but there's always other opportunities.
Well, to your point, I know, and we're going to talk about the presidential race in a minute. I really was, it would have been nice to see him as a vice president contender. I think he has all.
I agree.
I think I kind of believe he would have pulled in a missing puzzle piece for that ticket, but hey, we'll see what happens. Really quick before we go to our first commercial break, though, what are your thoughts on the Supreme Court? The Supreme Court, they just, dropped a few things this week.
I mean, I'm not surprised about it. I mean, you have a conservative majority, so nothing that's coming down is surprising me in one bit. What's going to happen on Monday, even coming up? I mean, I think they are going to give the president immunity, or they might just kick it back down to the lower courts. I think it's going to be one or the other. So everything is going to work. I hate to say it in the conservative favor, but it's going to be the rule of law.
Well, no, I forgot what court it was. He's already lost that battle. They've already. One of the things that I can't remember the decision that came down, but they cited a 1882 law or something like that, where Congress stated no person technically is above the law. I forgot how it was worded. In other words, he won't be really getting immunity per se, but they kind of opened up the pathway for that. Like he can go ahead and hang that one on up. I mean, I don't see that happening. The immunity is just not. Yeah, I don't see that.
I mean, they're not only are they writing something just for President Trump, they're writing something for every future president after Trump. So that has to be taken into consideration. And what people try to hold against Trump, you can hold against many other presidents that have came before him as well. They have a certain amount of immunity. I'm gonna go back to what I've always been saying. If you want to beat Donald Trump, I think the best way to beat him is through the ballot box. But we're gonna get to that topic soon, because evidently Joe Biden can beat him at the ballot box, because that's been proven on Thursday.
No, we'll see that. Our first commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Richard Coleman, and I'm running for the office of Sheriff of Chatham County. And when I'm elected, I promise to inspect what I expect. Chatham County, it's time for a change, and that change is me, Richard Coleman.
All right, and we're back. So before we kick off our first, we have somebody joining us. Let's see.
Who's joining us?
Oh, shoot.
Perfect timing.
Dante,
hey, Julius, how you doing?
Dante said you were scared. No, that was me. All right, hold on, y'all. Before we kick it off, we're going to our main topic. This past week, we saw 45 and 46 square off in a debate. It was quite interesting, but let's play this right quick to kick off our discussion.
Evils for me, it's more of like both of these candidates don't feel like viable options.
Watching the debate yesterday, you have one that lies and you had one that could barely even bring a whole coherent sentence together. And I think that we're in a really bad place when it comes to our presidential options.
I thought Biden is the better choice, but he seemed very, very old. He seemed a lot older than he is, and I think that's going to be kind of tough for people to get over. He was kind of shaky, and he was having a hard time finishing his sentences and losing his train of thought. And someone that's in charge like that, you want him to be 100% sharp.
If I was ever thinking of voting for Biden, I'm sure I would have changed it. based upon last night's performance, just because our country needs somebody who's with it.
It was really hard to watch. Like, I wanted to turn it off almost immediately, but I somehow powered through. My wife was not as strong. She left the room because she couldn't take it. My reaction was just a lot of sadness. I think we have not good choices. I was hoping that Biden would do better than he did. I knew what to expect from Trump because he's been that way as long as he's been in politics.
Last night was an indication of how far removed our elected officials and our candidates are from the general public. If anything, that is what the debate yesterday underscored.
I really didn't feel there was a need to watch the debate. At this point, you're not going to really sway anyone's mind. It's the race to the bottom all over again. Last night was the mummy versus the dummy. So, for those who tuned in, it kind of was a waste of time as far as I'm concerned.
Yo, that last comment was my favorite.
It was.
It was the mummy versus the dummy. All right, who wants to start this off?
I mean, the way how I look at this video that was just played, I mean, that's a bunch of Biden supporters that's really telling us how they're going to feel. I mean, on the other hand, I will say Republicans are actually kind of happy with the performance that Donald Trump did do. He did not go off the rail. He actually stayed on topic. He didn't say anything too out the window. Well, I take that back. There's two things that I actually can think about that kind of raise my eyebrows. But other than that, I mean, Biden kind of just already solidified Donald Trump being the next president after that debate performance. I mean, people can sit here and try to spin it all they want with, Biden had a cold, Trump told so many lies. Let's be honest. That was a debate that Biden actually wanted, and he got it. American people have really truly seen Biden for who he is. No teleprompter, just off the cuff questions that he cannot answer. He stumbled. He was mumbling. People can barely hear him. But Biden supporters, honestly, they're either going to stay home, which we all know that, or they're going to go to a third party candidate, or some of them might, and it's a small majority, might even flock to go back to Donald Trump, actually. And through it all, I think the way how everything is going to be divided, Trump is going to come out on top yet again. So,
really,
that's my opinion.
Yeah, that's all that is your opinion, Dante. That you obviously.
I guess your internet didn't agree with you either.
Oh no, that was a good one. I'm back. But I'll say this about the debate. I have been in two different debates. People don't vote on debates. I can tell you that now.
They don't.
And in both debates, I made both of my opponents look like children. I'm just gonna put it out there. Most recently in the city council race, she had to read from a book, and she's the incumbent versus me, who's going off the top. So. But what I will say, and I know you're tired of hearing this one, but it was facts versus lies. The man could have been half asleep. He could have been. He could have had a cold. He could be, I think, Jill might have gave him a little too much ooey the night before. Jill Biden.
I doubt that happened. I mean, if he can barely stay, he probably could barely get it up.
So I don't know. The blue chew is a bad thing, they say. I don't know. Or the honey, I don't know. But my thing is, what you got to think about. Now, we got to be real about this. You got a man who cannot serve in the army based on being a felon, who cannot hold most jobs in the federal government, but is going to be the commander-in-chief over something he can't even be a part of himself because of his decisions. That's kind of scary.
That is true. You also have the other side saying that the orange man is such a threat to democracy, and their flag bearer is Superman, who's dressed in kryptonite. I mean, seriously,
I don't think I've heard that.
I mean, Biden can barely walk. He can barely talk. And you're right. elections are not decided on debates. You're absolutely right. However, I do believe that when the polls come out, Trump might get, I would say, at least 5 points. I would say 3 to 5 points bump up in the polls. And then we have until now, all the way until September. Those are clips. I'm pretty sure the Trump team has already created several ads that was just in the making, especially when Biden said that no serviceman died under his watch. That's an ad just waiting, just waiting right there.
Who died?
I mean, the 13 service people, some people just died last week. I mean, these are things that he should know. He said that confidently too. I don't know why he did that, but you're right. Elections are not won based off of debates, but I do think that this is not going to help Joe Biden. We now have almost a few weeks to just go back and forth with the clips of that debate played over and over again.
Well, I got Julius on speaker. I'm gonna let him go ahead and finish his comment.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Julius. Mr. Hall.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I could not. I'm in a bad place with reception, and I'm in a restaurant type place where it's a roof or tin roof, so I can't get in. I forgot I had company come in town.
Well, go ahead. No, we're listening.
But Dante, you seem too smart to be thinking the way that you think, and I hate to be that critical of you, but you seem too smart to be not able to say that Donald did nothing wrong. Donald is an idiot, and everybody in the world saw it the other night. And how could you not? You could sit there and talk about how Joe Biden performed, but you didn't see anything in what Donald Trump did. If you're gonna be honest, just be honest.
I am actually being honest. Trump did better than what I thought he was going to do. I actually thought he was going to come in there and act like he did in 2020, but he actually did a very good job containing himself. I'll say that for the most part. And when we talk about the lies, I mean, come on, politicians bend the truth all the time. We can't sit up here and just try to focus on, Trump was the only one up there lying. Biden said a few mishaps himself as well. So I think we're trying to really deflect from Biden did not have it together. His team, they're not happy with it. The American people aren't happy with it. Polls at the polls show, and the American people already think that Donald Trump can best handle the economy and Donald Trump can best handle immigration. Those are the two top important issues in this election cycle. Joe Biden is not even coming close. A poll after the debate showed that Donald Trump was more fit to run the country than Joe Biden. So the proof is in the pudding.
Well, and let me offer this, you all. I think what people are missing is this. When presidents are elected, they have a cabinet. And so who do you feel safer creating a cabinet of competent people? Number one. Number two, who do you feel is the best to make the next Supreme Court selections? And number three, who do you feel will be the best suited to get us through another war? Because we're about to face another war. Russia's just waiting. And so those three alone, in my book, I don't see Trump being able to be smart or intelligent about handling it. 40 out of 44 of his last appointees will not endorse him and will not vote for him, including the vice president.
That's a fact. What's also a fact is while Trump was president, there were no wars. So I mean, people can sit up here and keep throwing out, the world is going to go burning if Trump becomes president again. The fact is, we have lived through a Trump presidency and we're all still here. There was no nuclear bombs. There was not everything that people said. It was not doom and gloom. You can critique Trump again on some things. I'm the first one that will critique him on the national debt. It did raise under his watch. I'm the first one who will critique him on his handling of COVID. And also, I'm the one who will also critique him on George Floyd. I thought that was a moment that he could have actually act presidential in a moment to unite the country. In my book, he fell on that. So I do think there are things to critique Trump. I'm just not on this bandwagon of people going to find fault for every little simple thing. And we're trying to deflect from Biden's actual terrible debate performance. That's literally elderly abuse, and no one wants to call that this man was standing up on national TV and could not form a sentence. I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody laughed when Trump said, I don't know what he said. I don't even think he know what he said. And everyone probably laughed because we all were literally thinking the exact same thing. We don't know what he was saying. I'm pretty sure a lot of people had to turn their closed caption on just to see, okay, what is he saying? Now, I'm sure the closed caption couldn't even pick up what he was saying too. It probably kept saying ...
Not the Charlie Brown. Wah, 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 wah. All right, Julius, any comments from you?
No, he doesn't say it enough.
Well, I will say this. You know, you gotta putting all things aside. You know, I will tell people. You know, he's as a chief of staff. You know, the thing I will say about what ages is, nobody at that age that carries the stress and weight that he carries is going to be able to function at the light speed. Now, if you look at him the next day, when he had his notes and when he had all of his items, hell, he had it together. I mean, you know, and that's been my complaint to the Democrat Party for a long time. We got to give him prepared. I will say he has some terrible advisors. The Democrat Party has demonstrated that it has been weak for the last couple of years. And we got to stop being, excuse my language, some bitches and stop sitting around playing footsie when that's not helping anything. I will say his advisors were terrible. They need to be fired, every last one of them. Whoever took him to Camp David, I don't know. I guess y'all were making s'mores because you certainly weren't preparing Joe.
And what's sad about it, he's the one who needed the whole week to prepare, and that's what we got. You know, I mean, I don't even know what to say at this point. I mean, the Democratic Party literally put Joe Biden up on stage like that, and now even some of them are talking about removing him. And honestly, I'm all for the shits and giggles. I actually want to see how it's gonna play out for real, because it's not going to look good in either way, to be honest with you. So I do want to see, you know, what the Democratic Party is going to do. But through it all, I do think Trump is going to be president again. I think people might as well just go ahead and accept it now. Start crying now if you're going to be that emotional about it, because I would just go ahead and say, get it out the way. Again, Biden kind of already just solidified that. I mean, after that performance, people will remember that. And something I also want to say about Biden's age, I've seen a lot of people that's his age that functions very well. And I'm pretty sure you know a lot of people that's his age that functions very well. And I'm pretty sure there's some people that do not. I don't think that's a good excuse. I think it's more so that person.
It's a reality.
I mean, but Joy Behar is up on The View every day spitting out her BS. And I mean, she's by his size. I mean, she's by his age.
And a cast. See, that's what we're forgetting. Joe Biden ain't gonna be running the country by himself. He has a cabinet of people who are advising him, who make decisions collaboratively.
That's evident that Joe Biden advisors are running the country, because the man that was on stage ain't doing nothing but just showing up.
We want everything for Tyler Trump too, because he can't even get, you know, where was his wife? She doesn't even endorse him. My God. If your wife don't endorse you, what the hell are we doing?
I mean, why should Melania come and entertain all the Democrat circus? I mean, seriously, why? Why go sit in a room that pretty much the whole debate was set up so basically Trump could fail, because they didn't think he would say yes to it, but his ass was just so eager to get Biden on the stage, he immediately says yes, and then he has to go sit in a room with Jake Tapper and Dana Bash, two people who do nothing but sit on TV all day long and bash Trump and the Trump entire family. If I was Melania Trump, I wouldn't want to go there either. And you know what? In fairness, I do want to give Con News Network credit, because they actually did a fair job and they did not try to favor anybody. I actually was kind of surprised. They surprised me as well.
Yeah, that's interesting. But I will say this: I think Melania is working on those divorce papers. I think she and Stormy Daniels are sitting around having great martinis and laughing and giggling.
Is that the Stormy Daniels that also wrote a certified note and had it notarized saying that she did not have sex with Donald Trump? Is that the same one? But then just recently went to court and said she did have sex with Donald Trump. So I don't know which Stormy Daniels we're going to believe, but you know, if it's going to be a decade of hit Trump all year, you know, we can keep doing it.
They said he grabbed her by the P. I don't know about the P Valley. But
I don't think he grabbed that one by the pussy. I don't think that was her.
You got to go for it. Can you hear us? Can you hear us? I don't know. Maybe he'll come in.
So, Bobby, let me ask you. I mean, you're a Democrat. What do you think the Democrats should do? Should they stick with Biden or should they?
Well, I'll say this here. For the man who has the most experience of all five candidates, for the man who has foreign relations experience, for the man who has forgiven y'all student loan debts, for the man who has pretty much about to pick the next couple of Supreme Court justices, for the man who, on paper, runs circles around Donald Trump, for the person who's got to lead us through a next war, because there's going to be a war because China and Russia, you got to look at bar for bar what you're getting. I don't think we're going to be safe with somebody who is not, 40 out of 44 people who worked in his last administration, including his attorney general, said this guy's garbage. I think we need to stay with Joe. Now,
wait, can you also put a comment?
That performance was a one-off. His performance in the debate does not dictate how he leads. That's what we got to get away from. People want to put all in one and the same. It's not. It's just not. You know, people, how they show up at church is not how they worship all the time. A person who has a car accident doesn't mean that they're a terrible driver. And so what I want us to do is say that particular moment defines who Joe Biden is. It's not.
Bobby, you're absolutely correct. But if somebody comes to church and they look skinny like a crackhead, we're going to think that's a crackhead. Joe Biden came on stage looking like an elderly man who is incompetent, who cannot form a sentence and cannot put everything together in his brain. The only people that's running his administration is literally his administration, but him. He is not even there. And we done caught him sleeping several times. So we can try to deflect this all we want.
No, I think
it's going to come. It's going to come down to it. Which, and the fact that Biden did that North Carolina rally the next day where he was reading off a teleprompter, you know, that's just kind of. I mean, come on, that was just his team trying to put that out there.
We can't. That was an example of his work. We can't on one hand say, oh, the bad performance we're going to count, the good performance we don't want to count. I think that's a little unfair. Matter of fact, let me play that right now. I'm glad you brought that up. Let's play that right now, just to show the stark difference. This is the person you're getting.
Last night, but I spent 90 minutes on the stage debating a guy who has the morals of an alley cat. Did you see Trump last night? My guess, he said, I mean it sincerely, a new record for the most lies told in a single debate. He lied about how great he was on crime. I had to remind him that he oversaw a record increase in murder rates in 2020. On my watch, violent crime has hit a 50-year low.
So let's give him. We got to give credit.
Yeah, I'm going to give him 100% credit from reading from a teleprompter, where he does not have to use his cognitive ability, where he just has to sit there and read line from line from line. He probably will read the word pause as he did in his last one.
So you know what? He may have mumbled, but did he lie?
You're absolutely.
He may have mumbled, but did he lie?
He actually did lie. He actually did lie. There was a few lies that he actually said.
What lie?
What lie? He said that he inherited his unemployment rate was 15% when Trump left office. It was at 15%, and actually it was not at 15%. It was not. It was at 6.4. It was at 6.4. You can go look up the statistic labor data. It'll show you that's fact number one. Number two, so I find it funny that the media is trying to twist some of stuff of what Trump said, because they'll say Trump is lying, but they'll say Biden is misleading. So Trump said that Biden. Thank you, Julius. So Trump said that Biden said super predators. Okay, so no, Biden did not say the super predators, but he did say predators. Actually, he said that on the Senate floor, and he was actually referring to black people, and the media want to sit there and say that that's a lie. Actually, he did say that. Another thing, so Trump is correct when Iran economy did sink because he imposed sanctions. That is a fact. Now, Trump did exaggerate his fact when he said that
exaggerated.
Iran went broke.
That was a
So,
liar.
no. And he misled, just like Joe Biden did
No, he
too.
lied.
Anybody that follow politics, we know that politicians will get up on that stage and both spin it
I
how they
lied. I
yeah,
lied.
they do it. And the only thing, again, you can go based off of Biden had a cold and Trump is lying. That's the only two things you can go off. You can't go off of we have somebody who is a hollow ghost in the White House behind the desk. Are we being serious right here?
Yes, we are.
What are we
You
talking
know what you're getting. Okay, we're gonna do a commercial break and we're gonna come back. When we come back, I want to know what are black jobs.
Hello, I'm Richard Coleman, and I'm running for the office of Sheriff of Chatham County. And when I'm elected, I promise to inspect what I expect. Chatham County, it's time for a change, and that change is me, Richard Coleman.
What on the hell are black jobs?
Honestly, I don't know what black jobs are. One thing I can say is Trump misspoke. Like I mentioned earlier in the program, there are two things that kind of raised my eyebrow. This is one of them. But I mean, I think instead of us trying to attack black jobs, I think people should sit back and take away what Trump was really trying to say. Immigrants are coming into our country and they are taking jobs that are available for American citizens. That is the point that is the point that Trump was getting at, and that is not only are they taking their jobs, they're also taking benefits that's supposed to be going to American citizens. That not only are they doing that, they are putting people who are just freely walk into our country and putting them in nice hotels, while people born in the United States of America have to sleep under bridges all day long. But the people that just walk into our country, they get put in nice hotels, they get debit cards, they get. So we can sit up here and try to we can sit up here and focus on black jobs. I think that was a terrible thing for him to say, poor choice of words, but let's not get lost of what he was actually saying. People are coming to our country. What's up? What do you want to know?
I want to know, since the Republican Party is so darn concerned about the border, why is it that Trump and this Republican Congress were dead set on not doing anything? It took Joe Biden an executive order because this Congress and Trump wanted to use that as a political pawn. That's disgraceful.
Well, actually, that's not true. So let's be a little bit factual. Both parties, Republican and Democrat, have been playing chicken back and forth with that immigration since Biden became president, because the Republicans did put something up, Biden did not like it, and they've been going back and forth. And just how Biden recently did his executive order, he could have did that long time ago. He could have did that a long time ago. Trump didn't get nothing passed through Congress. He did an executive order, and that's why we didn't have that many people crossing the border under Trump as they are under Biden. As soon as Biden did his executive order, that's when it dropped 40%, which is why he was able to quote that in the debate. But that's not going to save you, because your record still will show that a lot of immigrants cross into our country.
I'm going to play this, but let me start with this before I play it. This country is built on Congress going to work, but you got people like Marjorie Greene Taylor, that's the flagship of the Republican Party, that make a little ass out of everybody.
That's wrong. She's the flagship.
The flagship person. But here's the thing: there shouldn't have been an executive order. Joe Biden has a proven record of years of work crossing the aisle and making amends and doing things collaboratively. You're right. Trump had to do everything on executive order because he can't work with nobody else. 40 out of 44 people that worked with him say he a toddler. He can't work with nobody else. But we want to give him the nuclear football. But hold on. Let me play this really quick. Let's just learn about how this thing looks. But Biden, the reason why he didn't do a executive order a long time ago, because he was trying to get these folks to work together, but they just did not want to. So y'all hold tight.
President Biden is set to announce two major immigration programs. One to protect nearly 500,000 spouses of U.S. citizens from deportation, and another to make it easier for some migrants, including so-called dreamers, to get work visas. That's according to a source familiar with the discussions. The first new policy would apply to undocumented immigrants who have been married to U.S. citizens and have been living in the U.S. for more than 10 years, allowing them to apply for legal permanent residence without leaving the country. Some children would also be protected.
Essentially, this new policy that would be aimed at keeping families together. So a U.S. citizen who's married to an undocumented spouse wouldn't have to be apart from their spouse for a long period of time just to get this legal status that they are already eligible for.
Another new policy, according to two officials, would streamline the process for young undocumented immigrants to apply for work visas.
In order to be eligible for this, you have to have received a higher education degree from an institution here in the United States, and also an employment offer in a field that aligns exactly with that major or degree that you received here.
Biden has been under.
Now, I will say this. Honestly, I think the Native Americans should have the full right to write the immigration law. Let's see how that turns out.
Well, I agree with you on that, actually. I do agree with you.
That's how that turns out.
I wouldn't have no problem with that.
But no, I think out of both candidates, let's just talk about the hypothetical. I honestly think how do we get to these two candidates? I really... right now, and honestly, I think both sides of the aisle are saying we now got to pick the lesser of two evils.
I mean, we got to this place because on the Republican side, we couldn't consolidate behind one person. We had several people that wanted to run for public office. I mean, for the presidency, and Trump and his supporters, they were able to always counter each person that tried to be a challenge to him, and he was able to get the nomination. Democrats, they thought Joe Biden was the best person to beat Donald Trump when he ran for the presidency in 2020, not realizing his age, and they didn't think about the future behind it. So this is what we are now stuck with. And I think Republicans just kind of, I think honestly, behind closed doors, Republicans just want to go ahead and get rid of Trump. And the best way to get rid of him is just to let him go ahead and run this last time and then let him win. And then after that, we don't have to deal with him anymore. We can start looking to the future. With the Democrats, I don't know. I think after they take this L this year, they can probably do some regrouping and thinking. I think Kamala Harris still has a good chance. Gavin Newsom has a good chance. Maryland's governor, I think he has a good chance. He's been on the news lately. Yes. I think Pete Buttigieg would also be a good one as well.
Well, I think right now I like Gavin Newsom. You asked a question earlier. I know we're not going to replace him. It wouldn't work. Gavin Newsom, the stars right now, the national stars of Gavin Newsom. My personal favorite is Gretchen out of Michigan, the Michigan governor. She's really a real polished, smart woman that I really think has some fire behind her. Wes Moore, I think Wes needs a little more grooming. I like Wes a lot, but I think I would like to see Wes in the Senate. How that turns out, I don't know, but I would love to see Wes in the Senate. I just hope Stacey Abrams doesn't come back. I can't with her. Just go teach at Howard. We're good. We're good.
Why you don't want Stacey?
She's boring.
she's boring, or because she took the 2 L's?
No, she's boring. She was boring then, and she's boring now. But let's shift gears a little bit before our next commercial break. Let's talk about the Trump VP candidate. So hold tight. Here we go.
When it comes to vice presidents, Kamala Harris is President Joe Biden's pick this election season. As for presumptive Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump, it's anyone's guess. When pressed for answers, Trump has demurred, saying only that he will announce his choice at the Republican National Convention in July. Among the candidates that have emerged, each brings the chance to broaden Trump's base of supporters. North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum is a top contender. The businessman and entrepreneur built a financial software company that Microsoft purchased in 2001 for over $1 billion. Burgum's wealth and connections would be major assets in helping finance Trump's campaign. And his business experience and know-how aligns with Trump's self-branding as a savvy real estate developer. Fellow Floridian Marco Rubio is another top contender. The state senator has name recognition, with over 25 years of governing experience at the local, state, and national levels. Currently vice chair of the Senate Intelligence Committee and a senior member of the Committee on Foreign Relations, the Cuban-American and Miami native could expand Trump's base of Hispanic and Latino supporters. First-term Ohio Senator J.D. Vance is also thought to be a top contender for VP. The former venture capitalist came to prominence with his 2016 memoir, Hillbilly Elegy, which explored the cultural and socioeconomic decline of the rural white working class. A former Trump critic, Vance once described the former president as reprehensible and called him America's Hitler. He's now a Trump supporter and appeared regularly as a media surrogate during Trump's hush money trial. South Carolina Senator Tim Scott is also in the running for vice president, and if selected, would be the first Black Republican on a presidential ticket, potentially broadening Trump's appeal to Black Americans. Scott's political career began at the local level in 1995, and he has served in the Senate since 2013. New York Representative Elise Stefanik's name has also surfaced as a possible VP pick. Stefanik considers herself Trump's strongest ally in Congress, where she's the fourth-ranking House Republican leader.
Yes or no?
Trump's VP pick isn't just about who's best aligned with his priorities, but who will be best positioned to carry them on. If elected again this November, the 78-year-old would be permitted to serve only 4 more years under constitutional term limits for president. Tina Trin, VOA News, New York.
All right. So who do you like in that lineup? Or it could be a dark horse. Who do you like?
I'm still supporting Nikki Haley. She should be added to that list. I think that would be the best choice for Trump. But going off this video that you've shown, I think Marco Rubio should be number 1. Tim Scott, J.D. Vance would be my top 3. I think everyone else, the North Dakota governor, he's boring. I mean, no offense to him, but he is boring. I mean, Trump is very energetic, and I don't think the North Dakota governor will be able to match Trump energy. And I also think Kamala Harris would kill him in a debate as well. I mean, you have to get somebody that's going to have to be a little bit combative. And I think the best people that can actually go toe to toe in debating Kamala, I do think it would be Nikki Haley or Marco Rubio. Kamala will walk the dog all over Tim Scott, and I think she will walk the dog all over J.D. Vance as well.
Well, I like Burgum. Honestly, Burgum, the governor, is my favorite. He looks presidential. I like the moderate taste of him, and I like tickets with as a balance. He brings a balance. He gives me a Mitt Romney vibe. And he brings a balance to Trump. I think you're right. Trump is real high wire. You need somebody to mellow that out. And honestly, to be real with you, the one thing people say that who's going to slow him down, who's going to make Trump listen? I think a millionaire's birds of a feather tend to have a different same conversation. So I think Burgum is a good choice in my book. I like Burgum. I like Nikki, but I really like Burgum. J.D. Vance is too polarizing. J.D. Vance is a racist. Who the hell writes a book like that? I mean, you're not going to sit here and talk about some whites in rural anywhere when there's privilege that exists in America. So get the hell out of the way for that conversation. I don't like J.D. Vance because he's a racist. He looks like one. But anyway, I like Rubio.
Was that before or after he got the beard?
His whole demeanor just makes me just want to throw up. Rubio was good. I just don't see Rubio and Trump being able to live in the same Air Force One to get tore up. There'll be some fights on that. Like, yeah, no, they're two strong personalities. I don't think Rubio can hold a debate. But I really like Burgum. Tim Scott, I like for the fact that he's mellow. But my thing with Tim is he looks like a cartoon character. So I don't know.
Tim looked like a cartoon character? I mean, if Tim looked like a cartoon character, what does Joe Biden look like from Thursday? I mean, seriously?
Hey, he's a bad man with them aviator glasses. Give me credit for the aviators.
I mean, poor Dr. Jill Biden had to literally help him off the stage. I mean, and they tried to pull back with the shot so people couldn't see. Like, come on. Like, you have to love the media. You have to love the media.
Y'all going to help me off the stage. I mean, what's the point?
This man had a dumbfounded look the entire time. At first, I thought he froze. I thought he was brain dead at plenty of times during the debate.
Now, I know you are a Buddy Carter fan, but I'm going to play this commercial because these folk pay the bills, so I got to play this commercial. We're not endorsing. We're just paying the bills. Hold on.
I'm Patty Hewitt, and I'm worried about our future.
Last one.
I think about my grandkids and the belief that they deserve every opportunity. And what you deserve, what Coastal Georgia deserves, is someone who cares more about their community than about corporate profits and big pharma.
I'll see you later.
All right, thank you. Small business owners and hardworking Georgians are the heart of our community.
Have a good day.
Not CEOs, not lobbyists, not shareholders, but who's taking care of them? It's time to ask yourself, what do you want from your government? This is our year to stand up against what we know is wrong. No more DC politicians invading our home life. No more racism that kills dreams and spreads violence. And no more corporate greed at the expense of workers' rights and our environment.
So what would be the most meaningful help to you?
I've spent the last 8 years working behind the scenes, mobilizing our communities for positive change. And while that is really important work, I can't stand by and allow the same tired politicians to run this country, the same ones who've neglected the real needs of Georgians. I'm ready to take our seat in Congress so I can fight for you and your families.
I vote for you.
Thank you, my darling. I love you. This isn't about party lines. This is about voting for a better future for more Georgians. Enough is enough.
All right, we're not endorsing, so keep that in mind. Really quick before we get on to close out our conversation today, again, I want to remind everybody that, again, one of my nephews was shot, and what we're trying to do is raise money with his grandmother and his mom. So I don't know if y'all can see that.
No, not really.
Oh, my thing went dark. So I'm gonna post a link up, but that's how it looks on GoFundMe. He is out. The breathing tube is out. He's able to eat, but looking for Stand with Jacob Taylor Through Surgeries on GoFundMe, and there's a link. So let's try to raise $10,000. The family was seeking $5,000, and again, this young brother is 14, 15 years old. So we just want to make sure we stand with the family, keep them covered in prayer. So we had some good comments here. We're gonna tackle some of these comments, and then we'll head on out of here for today. But watching intently from a little corner. How you doing, David Hussey and William Sophia and A. Joshua? So yeah, overall, I mean, I think we have many more debates to come. We have the two.
Many more. One more.
Well, I think there are going to be a few more. What I want them to do in a debate is have the audience there and let them have their notes. I mean, that's just nobody can carry that. That was just ludicrous. I would, first of all, again, Biden, you need to fire your team and hire me. Let me come do it for you. I mean, we could do this thing right, but the problem is you got somebody up there of that age. There's no way in the world they're going to be able to function well. Even myself, when I'm in a debate, both times I had my notes in front of me, but again, I'm 100 years younger, so I don't know.
You're right. You are 100 years younger. You're absolutely right about that.
Gotta laugh. But all right. So, any final thoughts from you? I know you're voting for Biden come November.
No, actually, I'm voting for Trump. So I don't think that there's anything that's going to change. I mean, again, just how I started the program off, I think this is now Trump's election to win. Only thing Trump has to do is just stay on message. Don't say anything crazy like black jobs. Just stay on message, or call anybody a Palestinian, by the way. I mean, that was kind of that was a little bit racist, but just as long as he stay on message, this is his race to win. And, hopefully the Democratic Party can just see the fiasco they put themselves in by staying with Joe Biden.
Well, we'll see. All right, we'll be back next week, same time, same place. Have a great week, everybody.
All right, see you.
Like this. this. I like that.